and then I'll, yep.
Mirror Radio, where we're going to try to bring you all the answers that no one else will. This is Lantern Lighthouse, and my cohort over here,
Domino from the YouTube. Nice to see everybody.
And we're going to be doing our pilot show here for you, so
we're going to try anyways. There's going to be some hiccups, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, consider this unpolished.
Could you hear that music okay?
Oh yeah, it was perfect.
All right. Well, let's dig into this information that we want to give to the good people.
Yep, let me get us started there.
And I just want to put a disclaimer out there. Myself personally, I'm just a dumb welder that likes to study. Oh, what happened? Oh, okay. You're sharing the screen. I'm just a dumb welder. I don't fucking know anything. All I'm doing is giving people knowledge that I've accrued over the years, whatever. If you want to give the audience a little bit of a description about your background.
Sure. I do have a fairly extensive IT background. A lot of it centering around IT security. It's probably about all I should say. We'll just leave
Absolutely.
it
there. Absolutely nobody. That's what we're gonna refer to you as in these streams, as nobody. And you're not a nobody, you're absolutely a somebody, but for everybody else, you're going to be a nobody.
I like that.
Awesome. Okay, well, how do you want to start this off?
Well, so I've kind of got the first article pulled up here if you want to kick off into what the show's sort of going to be about here, and then we can get started with all this information, because there's going to be a lot of it to go through.
Absolutely. Well, I've always been interested in like AI, artificial intelligence and technology and stuff like that. And then when I got a little bit older, I learned how that technology could be used to against humans to subvert our God-given right to do what the hell we want. And it's getting really bad, and it's always freaking worse than I could ever imagine. I mean, yeah, they write horror movies about this shit, you know, The Matrix is about this shit, but until you actually see it IRL in real life, it just doesn't sink in. And so I don't know, it's cool that at least movies like The Matrix primes you for you know, learning about this stuff. But something that I found, I don't even remember what I was searching, and it was in like the picture section of Google. I noticed something called Blue Force Development, and it was about smart cities, a smart city initiative actually that we have in my hometown. And so we're just going to delve a little bit into this. And, you know, I'm just going to dox myself. You know, I've already doxed myself online as it is. I'm from Canton, Ohio, city of the Hall of Fame. And Blue Force Development and Canton are working together to promote this smart city initiative. And it's basically like light poles that spy on you is the most basic form, is the most basic way you could put this. The light poles are spying on you. They're fucking watching everything. They're smelling everything. They're into everything. They can probably know what you want when you wake up, when you're hungry. You're like, oh, what do I want to eat? Oh, that fucking light pole outside, it has enough technology in it that it's going to tell you what you want. And that's fucking weird, man. I mean, it's just the only word for this shit is fucking weird. So what do you got pulled up there on the screen? Fuck. God damn it.
Womp womp womp
Yeah, right. I
womp.
knew I was gonna do that.
Edit out.
Yeah. How are we gonna do that? Yeah, just edit
That's
it.
that's gonna have to be an edit out.
Yeah, yeah.
This
Well,
this whole
obviously,
this whole little
nobody,
converse
nobody,
this
nobody,
little
nobody.
yes this
I
little
knew that was gonna happen. That's why we don't do these things live right away, you know.
yep.
All right. So where do you want to start? So we'll just start. Where were we?
Yeah, so if you want to start with some of the sensor stuff and how it's using 5G, I can even pull up that article that's specific to Canton. That might be actually a better place to start here.
Yeah, basically the definition that Blue Force has for a smart city is they provide intelligent capabilities that improve the quality of life for its citizens by leveraging technology to respond in real time to a dynamic and vibrant environment. To that end, cities are discovering that the infrastructure being built to enhance efficiencies can also be used to safeguard citizens. Now, this is what I was talking about in the intro, if you will, that they're going to sell it as being more efficient for everybody. And basically, it's just going to be more efficient for them to spy on everybody. And they're going to, say that we're going to safeguard the citizens, so we're going to, protect the citizens, which it's not the government. I mean, I know the conservatives talk about this all the time. The government is here to protect the people, blah, blah, blah. No, it's not. It is not the government's job to protect the people. It's not the government's job to tell the people what to do at all. The government is, in my mind, more like a practice, like a law firm, like you practice law. It's not supposed to, like, if it starts getting intrusive, if it starts getting violent, like, we're supposed to, as a people, to rise up and stop that. And nobody wants to really have these conversations because I think they're scared to be censored, which I understand. But things are getting just too bad, with things that I've seen over the last 2 years. So they're going to try to make us give up our freedoms for security. And then when we give up our freedoms for security, who said that we will get none of those? We won't get neither. Who was that? Benjamin Franklin?
Yeah, I believe that's who the quote's attributed to.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. And in many ways, the smart city movement is providing the infrastructure necessary to enhance public safety. So there's the safety thing again. It's all about safety. Wear your helmets, wear your seatbelts. Like, it's like it doesn't have anything to do with protecting anybody else. Like, if you decide you don't want to fucking wear a seatbelt, because for whatever fucking reason, like, the government shouldn't be able to intrude into your life because of something that is a victimless crime. You know what I mean? Like that. But also, it continues here. The definition of smart city, Blue Force's definition of smart city, and we all know how the controllers love to make up their own definitions of terms and words. And this is just another example of that. But also value added services and digital inclusion for everyone. There's that keyword, inclusion. Where have we heard that before? We want to be all inclusive. We want to include, all of the weird proclivities people have and then add them into regular society.
I,
Like,
See, now the way that I take that is we don't plan on discriminating in our spying.
Yes, that too. Everybody, exactly. And they basically tell you this in their own fucking definitions and in mission statements, if you will. It's insane.
We're
But they,
watching all of you.
yeah, they use such basic bitch like wording that it to a like a liberal or whatever a person that's not that smart, they look at this and it sounds good. Oh, they're going to use it for space travel, or they're going to use it to help people in burning buildings. Well, we're going to get into an article later that shows it's not just going to be for burning buildings and stuff like that. It's going to control the humans on a more fundamental level, that is just asinine, because trust the science, right? Well, their science doesn't even isn't even you can't even you can't even use their science in an experiment, because it's like if you sat down and tried to use the scientific method to experiment with the trust the science people, it's like a null and void thing to begin with. Like, nobody in their right mind would run an experiment that doesn't make any sense, like if it's like not going to work. But anyways, I'm going off on a tangent. And the last bit of it, from the sensor head to the mobile device to the smart lamp head, Blue Force provides a distributed and intelligent Internet of Things, artificial intelligent processing platform that makes smart city information actionable. So yeah, that's a little bit about what a smart city is according to Blue Force Development. You have any thoughts on that? Nobody?
I mean, I think that one kind of speaks for itself. As far as the sensor heads, these smart lamp heads, I mean, we could go into specifically what they do, and the types of sensors that are available.
Yeah, absolutely. Would you like to pull that up?
Yeah, so the one for Canton, I mean, obviously they're incorporating it with this shot spotter system, which there again, we're gonna usher it in under the guise of something helpful. But wait, there's more. what, what have we added to this
There's
vehicle?
always more, dude. There's
Well, of
always
course. Yeah, I mean, it never stops. Here's the vehicle collision detection. So they're going to know if somebody has a fender bender. So these people that don't call the cops to file a police report for an accident and just exchange insurance information, well, that's no more, because everyone's going to get a ticket now. They're going to know if you had a fender bender.
And you know what's weird, not to cut you off, but from what I understand, I don't remember what year this happened, but you remember the speeding traffic cameras that would detect if somebody was speeding, they would take a picture of you and then send you a ticket in the mail?
Well, yeah.
I believe they made that illegal in Ohio, but don't quote me on that. I just, I've been just from what I do in I've been speeding around sometimes, and not noticed those things, but I haven't gotten any tickets. But it's not to say that they won't, it always, they never stop. These people that want to control society.
Well, here's the thing. Okay. So it's illegal, right? That's what's stopping them from doing it. So the technology is in place, it's installed, it works. They know it does. Just because it's illegal currently doesn't mean that in some next election cycle, somebody doesn't propose a bill to re-legalize it and they flip the switch and they're using the technology again.
Absolutely.
So, but I mean, that kind of goes into the automated license plate recognition.
And this is another reason why we're blowing the whistle on this shit, that we're trying to have a discussion about this, that we're trying to raise awareness of this stuff, because once it's implemented, okay, so we could have some good once it's implemented and put into place and the infrastructure's there, even if like people from Congress want to deem that it's illegal for a couple years, they never like uninstall this shit.
Well, that's exactly. That's 100% my point. Absolutely. Yep.
Continue.
Well, so let's go to automated license plate recognition. So what that means is that at any point, anyone with access to this system can set an alert for a specific license plate number, and they could follow you around the city if they wanted to. So let's just say that these political activists or somebody, that doesn't necessarily agree with the powers that be.
The DOJ, like the DOJ,
yeah.
Those political activists.
Well, yeah, exactly. I mean, and then they're the people that are going to be ingesting all of this data, and suddenly they want to follow you from your home and track you to every location throughout the city that you visit.
It's the Department of Just Us.
Yeah.
Just them. Continue.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, you're 100% right.
You get me all riled up here, man.
Well, yeah, but
I got some
I mean,
I gotta fucking take a couple Tums. Like I got.
I mean, obviously, like, police cars are already equipped with this ALPR software. They can already do license plate recognition. That's how they, know you're driving with expired tags when they're that far away. Well, they didn't see it. The camera read it.
Absolutely.
Flashed a little alert on their screen and they pulled you over. So, but it's just the implications there are frightening, as far as how they could be used. If you suddenly became persona non grata with the local government, and they could literally use it to track your movements across the city, or you've got some psycho abusive boyfriend or something that's tracking his girlfriend's ex-girlfriend's movements across town or something.
They did that.
They
did that. The
exactly.
People would spy on their girlfriends and significant others. Like it's
right. So it's happening at the NSA level. You're going to tell me that some sort of local government is going to have better oversight than that? Come on.
Exactly.
It's going to happen. The system is going to be abused, whether they intend for it to be or not. It's going to happen.
And they always write backdoors in this shit so they can hack into it, but then other people end up hacking into it. Like,
well, sure.
A crazy ass girlfriend spying on me, like if she's hacking into my, the light poles near my house, and then she can constantly like keep tabs on me or whatever.
Well, so what if you're a political refugee, and some foreign government is hacking the smart cities cameras and inputting what they know to be your license plate number to track you to assassinate you or something?
The military term for this is full spectrum dominance. This has been set in papers already written that you can find online talking about it, like military psyops. And
you're gonna get me to jump ahead of myself here.
I'm sorry. It's a panopticon system. It's a reverse prison for your mind. Anyways, I'm sorry. Continue.
Yeah, no, I mean please interject. Yeah. FAX. So object identification, I mean, that in and of itself might not be that crazy, but
kid walking down the street smoking a joint.
Yeah, I mean,
it's like full spectrum dominance.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that it's possible.
Sitting there like hitting a bowl, like pop can fucking bowl, like.
Yeah, I mean, anything like that though, crowd formation, this one concerns me a little bit more, so you're going to tell me that they're going to basically be able to respond in real time to groups showing up to exercise their First Amendment rights.
And let me say, I would have been all for them using fucking drones on the people who are going around burning their cities down.
Oh, yeah.
But the problem is it'll always come back, and they'll use that same technology on everybody, anybody, because the state is blind.
Yep.
It's not. Yeah, justice is supposed to be blind.
Yeah,
but
it's
like,
supposed to be.
Yeah, but like the state is blind mentally. Like it doesn't, like what you said earlier, discriminate. It's for everybody.
Right.
Like, well, yeah, they're non-racist. They're not racist. They're non-discriminatory. That's like
They just want the control.
You want them to discriminate against terrorists, right? Like the guys with bombs,
right.
Not just somebody because of the color of their skin. Like this is Martin Luther King shit right here. You don't discriminate. You base your views on someone's based on their character, not by the content of the shit that they put out. Like we're trying to put out some fucking content to wake some people up. Like maybe we say things the right way that will get a certain person that might not have, being able to wake up another way. We'll help them. So I'm going off on a tangent. I gotta take another Tums. I'm getting all fucking pissed. Continue. I'm gonna just, I'm gonna mute myself for a second.
No, you're good. So apparently there's a quote here from the Canton police chief, and it says, with the Wi-Fi, with the Wi-Fiber Connect and Protect platform, Connect and Protect platform and Blue Force, we've been able to receive stolen vehicle alerts from the lamp-based license plate recognition services in seconds. We have been able to track the cars and the lamp-based cameras, and we've been able to make arrests without pursuits. Now, they're saying that they're using it for stolen vehicles, a noble cause. There's nothing that I can say about that that's negative, okay? But the implication, all it takes is a politician to sign the right bill for that to start being used in a politicized fashion.
How many times have you had your car stolen?
0.
Exactly. It's like barely ever fucking happens. They're like, yeah, there's this thing that might happen and could happen, so we're just gonna clamp down on everybody so we know.
Well, yeah, that's like the vaccine that everyone has to have for the virus for the one. Never, you're gonna get me started on that. Sorry.
We're gonna get kicked off of YouTube, the maiden voyage, bro. Like I'm gonna upload this shit to YouTube, and it's gonna be like they're like, nope, we were already in your Zoom call spying on you.
Yeah, right.
Fucking let you upload this shit. Oh my god, this fucking heartburn. All right, continue. You're doing a great job though, bro.
So let's see. They describe Blue Force development as a turnkey IoT sensor communication platform that delivers shared and real-time actionable insights to provide rapid, secure, intelligent connectivity between people, sensors, and systems in edge-based IoT environments to accelerate and enhance decision-making. So well, hang on, let's unpack that bullshit here.
Yeah.
So public safety. Let's see, what are we showing for public safety here? Blue Force
Fire
products
truck.
enable small unit swarming.
Swarming? What the wait?
What? That's a little interesting, isn't it? So you got mobile command capabilities, shared situational awareness. So basically, just to describe this a little bit better, all of this stuff is going to be taking these sensors. Where's it? I need to find it. Yeah, so here's one of their products, Blue Force Command, right? Single pane of glass dashboard that combines information from displayed personnel, body mounted or unattended IoT sensors, live streaming video, and autonomous information services. Internet of Things.
Internet of Things. Okay.
Yep. So it runs on Windows. That's funny. Anyway.
Like, come on now, get out of here.
Like, come on, guys, you could have done a little better than that. But so, for example, like here's one of their products, right? This is the Blue Force Command, and this is kind of what they're showing here. So you're getting these you got body cams. It looks like you've got a helo cam with IR, and then you've got this Team 3 map, which is, you know, obviously some sort of GIS, you know, GPS tracking for all of
Yeah,
these different sensors. So this is probably the helo cam. This is probably one of the body cams, and they're not displaying the other one.
they probably got
But
altitudes of everything and like how high and
oh, I'm
low the
sure.
valleys are or whatnot.
Absolutely.
Topographical map, basically.
Yep.
This man, it's crazy.
So, and then we've got Blue
great.
Force Tactical cross-platform. So this is basically what they would have on their phones.
Just what I
right?
needed.
It same kind of thing here with the GPS map looking thing with the difference. I mean, they've even got a dog sensor, it looks like, so they probably have a K9 units.
You're telling me they can actually just pull this shit up on their phones?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, they could probably get live video. See, here you go. Here's some like live video streaming right off of an app.
And they can have access to every fucking light pole that has this technology in it on their stupid ass phone.
Yes, they could.
Dude, like,
and
Washington is rolling around in his grave like it's a fucking rave or something. Like he just took the acid and he's like, it's like, this is fucked up, bro.
Yep. Here's Blue Force Patrol, location tracking, collaboration with support for video viewing and shared situational awareness with your team in real time. So same kind of crap. And basically, I mean, look at that. There's a crowd forming. They've got sky cams on it. You've got all this location information. Yeah, location services, synchronized tracking, tactical presence, network location, device health.
They're going to be spying, and they're going to use this in England to spy on every football team that flips over cars and shit. They'll never be able to ever do anything rowdy ever again. You'll never be able to just go on a fucking cruise and not be left, and be left alone or whatever. Like every time you go and take your girlfriend to the woods to fuck her, there's going to be a sensor somewhere. Like, this is ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, essentially, that's kind of where we're headed. I mean, here's Blue Force Beacon, which I'm assuming this is something that they would use, overt or covert. A simple swipe on the user interface or pulling out the headphone jack of the smartphone puts Blue Force Beacon into a panic state. So this would be like allowing them to call for help from the device directly off the platform. Real-time location. So I'm assuming this is for like tracking their officers. This would probably be how they would call for help, and then it would upload, audio and video, which this could be beneficial, because honestly, I've seen
all of it could be beneficial if they used it correctly.
Well, this is one that I honestly would see a hard time for them abusing unless they were deleting the information that would incriminate them.
I'm glad you brought that up because, like, we're going to get into the shot spotters probably soon, the shotgun detectors. Now, there are articles that you can find, and I forgot about that one, but we'll maybe talk about in a later video, where they have been caught deleting certain shotgun detector information to make it appear to be something else, just like fucking Minority Report. They acted like something was going to be the future, acted it out with crisis actors to set somebody up. This is exactly, to wrap your head around this is a difficult thing. It's not easy to think of. I mean, I don't know. It's easy if you've been studying it for a while to come up with these scenarios why they might, misuse this technology. But for regular plebs, for regular normies, for regular people, it's hard for them to realize how they can use this technology to pawn us.
Oh yeah, I mean, this is when you think about a dystopian police state, right? When you think about these, they show these futuristic scenes in these movies where, you've got the armed guards traipsing around, everybody's on camera, you've got a retina scanners everywhere and what have you. This is where it starts. you know, this is where the level of surveillance starts. I mean, I don't know if you've ever been to New York City. I'm assuming you have.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Everywhere there, if you walk around, NYPD has so many freaking cameras all over that city that you literally cannot turn a corner without seeing one of them.
They got vans full of this technology. Like
Oh, sure.
In many ways, this stuff starts in places like New York, LA. And I mean,
Well, yeah, and it's starting to bleed out into the smaller cities like Canton, and I'm sure Columbus is going to start doing this, Cincinnati, Toledo, Cleveland.
and keep in mind that, oh, what was I going to say? Shit. Keep in mind that, fuck, I had a brain fart. Continue. Shit.
Sorry. No, that's probably my fault. I interrupted you.
Brain fart. Oh.
Well, real quick. So this is like kind of what one of the dashboards look like, and this is ingesting all of these alerts, all these data points for all of these different sensors, like TW drone, MSME, SWAT 2. I mean, obviously these are examples, but I mean, think about what they could be used for.
It's like Pokemon Go for the feds, basically.
Yeah, essentially.
Whoever
Yes.
they deem is the Pokemon they need to catch at whatever moment.
Yep. So, and here's their national security solution. Huh.
There's just so much to all of this.
I mean, so the fact that they have applications for national security kind of lets you know that, okay, so when they're going to sell this to the cities, right, it's going to be, oh, you guys can use this for car chases and stolen shit or whatever, right?
Fucking drive-by shootings.
Right. So I mean, that's how they're going to sell it to this. That's how they're going to sell it to the cities. Well, hang on,
I know what I was going to say.
Okay.
This gives them an incentive to let things get so bad, because people are going to make money implementing this fucking technology and shit. There's going to be the people installing them. There's going to be the people creating the technology, like all the factory workers. Lots of people are going to make money off of
but they had to create the
shit.
reason.
Yeah, but that's what happens every time they make us build our own prisons for ourselves.
That's the trick.
It sucks. Continue. That's fine.
So anyway, like I was saying, obviously they're going to sell this on a local standpoint, and they're going to do it under the guise of, like I said, stolen vehicles and car chases and what have you, right? So, but they have a national security arm, obviously. So you're going to tell me that part of selling this to their national security partners isn't, oh, and you guys get access to all of the data from all of our smart cities. Bullshit. I promise you that's part of the agreement. That's why it's part of the national security cell, you know? And it's the same thing. Single pane of glass for the operator and commander. I mean, I'm sure. Well, yeah, here you go. We can get into some of their higher up partnerships. Department of the Army, Air Force, Police Department of New York. There we go. So you can guarantee they're using it. FirstNet, Los Angeles Police Department, PSCR, Arizona Department of Corrections, United States Army Special Forces, Polity, whatever that is, Massachusetts State Police, Homeland Response Force, Region 1.
They're working with
United States Northern Command. If you don't know what that is, pull up your little Google foo there, or your Google window, and do some typing, and go down that little rabbit hole for a while, and I promise you won't regret it. You're welcome.
Yeah. What are they? Are they located in the Cheyenne Mountain Range or something?
Something like that.
Yeah.
DIA, they're already partnered with the DIA. I mean, this kind of stuff right here should tell you all you need to know. Okay, so these are their government partnerships. Here are their technical partnerships.
Those are the private, the government, and then you got the no. These are the public partnerships.
Right. So
You
you've
have
got
private and then public.
You've already got Microsoft, you've got AWS. Oh, look at all these cell phone providers. So I wonder where
wow.
I wonder where they're gonna
I know them.
where are they gonna get all this data? You mean to tell me that
Come
you
on.
don't think that your phone, that thing you carry around in your pocket, couldn't be used as an IoT sensor that feeds this thing?
Amazon Web.
Absolutely. I mean, think about it for a minute. You've got it, it's got a phone, it's got a camera, it's got a microphone, it's got a gyroscopic sensor, it knows how fast you're going, you know, all that stuff. And your phone company, you know,
It's all integrated, man.
is partnered with
The
these
whole
people.
thing.
That should scare the hell out of everyone.
You got the Fitbit to give you the health information. That's going to be connected to all of this.
Or the
You got
Apple Watch.
The Apple Watch, exactly. The Apple Watch, the Fitbit. Like, they have the biometric shit figured out. They got the location shit figured out. They got the crowd control shit figured. I mean, dude, they're building the Matrix right in front of our eyes.
And nobody sees it because they're too busy playing around on Instagram and TikTok.
I got Warzone to play. Okay, I'm restart that. I got Warzone to play, nobody. I got fucking Warzone to play, man.
Yeah. Well, you and everybody else apparently, because nobody's seeing what's happening in front of their faces, and it's scary.
Very scary.
So anyway,
like there are people, but not enough. Like, they're starting to wake up, and we've had a lot of we won a lot of battles, but there's still a lot of work to do.
I mean, they're basically using this information to pattern people too. I mean, right here, this is one of the articles that you brought up, and not to hijack that, but just this caught my eye here, the swarm intelligence.
Are you copying and pasting me? Are you copying me? I'm just joking.
So
yeah, that was the Michael Helfrich shit. Yeah,
exactly. Swarm intelligence advances in edge compute power. Where was that?
First, who is Michael Helfrich?
Okay, so he is the CEO of Blue Force.
Yes, Blue Force Development.
Yep, I did have his LinkedIn pulled up, but I was not able to access it without being logged in and showing my information.
Oh, I understand.
So,
well, I'll give everybody a little bit of background on Michael Helfrich. One of the places where he's worked is something called InfraGard. So that is something that you can Google search. We're just kind of doing, what am I trying to say? We're doing a little bit of like in real life on the show. So if you want to, after you talk about this, search for InfraGard. Infra, INFRA guard. And I'll give you a little bit of his background, where he's been before. But it'd be like, I believe InfraGard ties in with like the fusion centers and shit like that.
You can hardly get any
security.
You can't even get information. Look at this.
Exactly.
Look at the site.
Wikipedia that shit.
Look at this website. There's nothing here.
Merca, man. It's all about Merca.
Wow, this is interesting. They've got a login. Oh, here we go. InfraGard is a partnership between the Federal Bureau of Investigation and members of the private sector for the protection of U.S. critical infrastructure.
Snitches, basically.
So let's see. What exactly would you call Blue Force Development? Maybe private sector?
His name's Michael Hellsnitch. It's not Hellfrich, it's Hellsnitch. That's what his fucking name is.
Yep.
God damn it. Sorry. I got it. Continue.
FBI and DHS threat advisories, intelligence bulletins, analytical reports, and vulnerability assessments, direct engagement with the FBI, other government agencies, and private sector experts at the local level. Bada bing. So you're going to tell me that the local branch of the FBI doesn't have access to all those little IoT sensors that are getting set up all over again? Because bullshit, they don't.
They got access to every stinking fucking one.
Absolutely, they do. No, here we go. Membership requirements affiliated with a critical infrastructure sector, consent to and pass FBI security risk assessment, periodic recertifications, notify the FBI of any pending criminal matters, sign and adhere to a confidentiality and non-disclosure agreement. Interesting. It's a non-profit. Yeah, I bet. Sure the CIA doesn't fund that. Anyway. So where were we here? Here we go. So back to Michael Helfrich. Did you want to go ahead and take this one?
You mean Michael Hellsnitch?
Yeah, Hellsnitch.
Okay. What am I doing exactly? What again?
These are the articles that you shared that you wanted to go through.
Okay. Now,
I mean, unless you want me to just kind of poke through these or whatever.
No. It's okay. We'll touch on this. Okay. So Michael Hellsnitch shares his thoughts on mobile edge compute in 2021. The article continues, with the new year upon us, we thought it would be good to share Michael Hellsnitch, our founder and CEO's thoughts on Blue Force focus points for 2021. The core design of Blue Force to date has been dissolving edge-based IoT, Internet of Things silos so that actionable but perishable machine information can be processed and moved to the right person at the right time. So snitch at the speed of light, basically. Okay.
So here's something that kind of caught my attention. Where was it? See, I keep seeing this stuff and then I keep losing it. Oh, here we go. Much of the market activity to date around 5G multi-access edge compute. So, you know, obviously everybody knows about the whole 5G conspiracy stuff, you know, and a lot of people have said, oh, you know, this is bullshit. They're obviously installing these 5G light poles. That part isn't up for debate. That's happening.
And he goes on and he says, when a U.S. Department of Defense senior leader recently spoke of his willingness to trade network for compute, it became clear to us that the core tenets that make edge so compelling are here and now. What are those, Alan? Really? 2021 for Blue Force will see us tripling down on edge compute to further facilitate the collision of people, artificial intelligence, autonomous systems for decision-centric operations. What follows are our top 4 product and innovation areas that we are working for in 2021 in partnership with our technology and channel partners. Now, we're going to get into some of these partners here in a little bit. Number one thing is swarm intelligence. Okay, so like, I mean, like 3 years ago, we were fucking worried about murder hornets swarming everybody. And now we gotta worry about some sort of fucking robot technology swarming, a swarm intelligence.
So this is pretty interesting right here. So let's just read this little blip.
Okay.
Understanding how humans, animals, and teams react to discrete or collections of IoT data fuels learning and can also express new system couplings that may
There's
have
a
not been exactly. If you don't feel like a lab rat in this situation, there's something wrong with you because that's how they're looking at you. You're a fucking lab rat.
You're a lab rat in a fucking maze, dude. Gerbil trying to figure out its way to the food. Exactly. And they're gonna fucking direct you you're not even gonna realize that they're directing you. Like once, I mean, we would, but like you get further down the line, like the Zoomers don't know what it's like to live without Facebook. Like I remember when life before Facebook and MySpace and all that shit.
Oh,
like
yeah, it was great.
it was way better. Like
Yeah.
my stupid kid mind couldn't understand. Like I remember when I was a kid, because I didn't understand that if you were close enough to the word, it would find you the word. And I was like, well, if I'm, because they would say if you don't know how to spell a word, just Google it. But I was already trained in how to use dictionaries and thesauruses, that it didn't make sense to me at first. I was like, so like, I think that is a huge chasm. Like, think of how much differently your mind thinks if you were trained to grab an actual book and flip through the pages to look for the word that you want. And then on the way to that word that you wanted, you encountered other words that were similar and may even had similar meanings. So then it just kind of like opened your mind up to etymology, how words, that language is like living, like the living language. But like nowadays, it's just like try to type it into this black box and it will give you what you think you want. And it's like, yeah, that can help, but it can also like dumb other areas down. So like, what is this swarm intelligence that they're talking about? Like that I can understand swarms of things like actual like bugs or whatever, but what is swarm intelligence? Swarm intelligence is of extreme interest to Blue Force, where dynamic signatures of the swarm emerge from the behaviors of its individual members, carbon or silicon. Bro, like what the fuck?
Hey man, and it's right here on their website, and to touch on the swarm stuff a little bit more, down here, they talk about what they're excited about is service swarms.
Oh, that sounds cute.
Yeah, doesn't it?
Service swarms. What are they serving? Like there's so much to these websites that like
Data.
I really do read so much.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's the thing. It includes low latency video streaming, discovery services based on location, core competency and resources, hyper-local services, to name a few. But yeah, I thought this was pretty, anyway, to kind of finish this sentence up here, it's talking about the 5G multi-access edge compute, blah, 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 and other virtual machine environments are coming to a telephone pole near you.
Oh, that's really cute how they word that.
I mean, yeah,
like Sesame Street wording, like we're
right.
Or like reading rainbow, it's in a book. Like what? Like Mr. Rogers putting on his tennis shoes, like, oh, we're cool, we're just like Mr. Rogers,
Only in this case, it's in a light pole.
Yeah, and Mr. Rogers killed a lot of fucking people in Vietnam, bro. He was like a sniper, right?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know about that one.
Dude, he was, look it up. He was slitting fucking throats and shit in Vietnam.
I mean, I can't say I'd be surprised. I mean, look at this.
What do you got?
I'm just kind of skimming here. Obviously, if we try to go through all this, show's going to be 4 hours long. But
It's gonna go to 10 hours if we seriously read through all. We're not even on squishy robots yet.
multivariant threat detection, hyperlocal discovery services, basically meaning they're going to tap into every camera in a. They're going to be able to do facial recognition and track your license plate and find you anywhere.
From the moment you walk outside of your door,
Yep.
you're gonna be fucking recorded, tracked, and traced.
Yeah, and you're going to tell me that there couldn't be.
It doesn't necessarily have to be from a live person. The algorithm.
I was just going to say drones could easily take care of this too. I mean, think about it.
Yeah.
You could have drones with cameras that are linked up to the system, running on some sort of 4G, 5G, connecting off to these poles, getting their signal. I don't know. It's one aspect that we haven't really touched on yet, but we can get there.
And think about this. If you have a Fitbit on, excuse me, and that Fitbit is connected to the IoT Internet of Things, and you're downtown going to get something to eat, and the light pole picks up on like the same signature, like it can detect that it's really you, that person. So like you can't even hide. You know what I mean? You can't even like mask this stuff, because if you say you have your a fake Fitbit on and it tries to mask your biometrics, and then you go out to the restaurant to eat and the light pole is picking up different biometric signature,
I'm sure it would trigger an alert.
It's going to trigger in a fucking alert.
Yep.
See, like it's literally the mark, man. The mark, whatever, I don't want to get biblical on people, but I mean, what else displays the same characters as you have in the mark of the beast, for crying out loud?
It's pretty scary.
Really fucking scary.
But I mean, just in talking about, kind of like the drone capabilities, you mentioned the squishy robots, this should truly concern people. Obviously they're going to say life-saving, cost-saving, blah, blah, blah. They're going to drop it into these disaster areas or something like that. But
yeah, and Squishy Robots is specifically working with Blue Force Development. So think of Blue Force Development as the software, and you have the Squishy Robots as being the mobile. The light pole that's able to move, or
well,
whatever. You think about it in terms of spying light poles or whatever.
Yeah, it's basically a mobile IoT sensor that connects to the Blue Force network.
And squishy robots are impact resistant. That's number one. So you can drop these squishy robots from other drones, from flying drones. You can throw them. You can drop them from airplanes, like leaflets or something. Instead of leaflets, you're just throwing out a bunch of little swarm robots. Now, you can have repeated airdrops from drones, helicopters, and fixed-wing aircraft deployed from heights of up to 1,000 feet. So as far as the technology goes right now, according to the website, you could drop them 1,000 feet in the fucking air, and they'll land and be okay. And number two is mesh capability. Robots, each one brings their own network, payloads, mesh network, eliminating their reliance on an existing communications infrastructure. So you don't have to have a communications infrastructure set up. And, this would be good for, troops. If you think about it, like you're going into enemy territory, you don't have any, my light just turned off. That's what I'm like, oh,
yeah.
It's on a timer. What the fuck, dude? Anyways, so if you don't have any communication systems set up, you can just throw like as many of these robots as you want spread out in an area, and you have instantaneous communication infrastructure. And then you have the customizable sensor platform. So you can customize these robots with any sensors that you want: CO, H2S, LEL, O2 sensors, 6 cameras, GPS. Now, this is just what they are now. They're gonna they're gonna perfect this technology. And then the last one is they have robust vision. Standard payload comes with 6 video cameras that provides 360-degree visibility in targeted areas. Now that sounds great for hazmat teams and shit, but
Well, yeah, I mean,
know,
the thing is, like, what this, like any of the rest of it, we're not trying to necessarily shit all over the potential. What we're trying to do is open eyes to the possibilities for this to be used maliciously, and people aren't going to be aware to even to push back on it if they don't know it exists. If they don't know
we're
to
trying to
do
create
it.
a dialogue.
Exactly.
The dialogue is so important because they're going to try to sneak this shit in. And what have we seen in the past? They sneak in this technology, these systems of tyranny, whenever they have some event that happens. And nobody knows about it usually before the event happens. So all we're trying to do is educate people on how bad people could use this technology. And, our leaders just don't have a great track record at not fucking us over.
They don't. I mean, so the initial, um, the proposed applications obviously are good, right? Search and rescue,
Space travel.
well, yeah, I mean, I think you mentioned that it would be great for troops. It would, obviously, if you could throw one of these into a building and not have to send someone in there, that is ideal, right? But
Each one of these robots can basically like unfold, it can fold itself into a compact, um, easily transportable little device that all you need to do is take it out of your rucksack and toss. Everybody has one, right? Everyone's going to have one of these. You can toss it out there. You could create an infrastructure. It's like the little robot that you see in like Prometheus. They send a bunch of these little orbs that float around, and they take specific dimensions of all of the tunnels that they're going through. Like,
yep.
yeah, it's very useful, but it's not so useful when you're having a population that is trying to practice independence and have a decent society. So basically, I mean,
Well, the problem is the potential for abuse. If these
yes,
are going to only be used for, uh, SWAT applications or military applications or natural disasters, things like that, then yeah, by all means, we could get behind this type of technology. But it has to not fall into a category of abuse. And unfortunately, like you mentioned, the people that are currently in power, or to the people that remain in power, don't have a great track record for not abusing that.
and a perfect example, if you want to pull this up before we move on, and there's no problem with going in little off on little tangents because I'm starting to remember things now. William Binney, if you remember that name, William Binney was the head of, he was like the technical director of the NSA, and he created something called Thin Thread. And Thin Thread was a way that the algorithm in the NSA could find terrorists, and then you could take that info to a judge, and it protected everybody's freedom of privacy, and it was a constitutional technology. Like, he designed it with constitution, not only the constitution, but just privacy already built into the system.
Well,
So
yeah, but they don't want that. They don't truly want that. And that's proven here because they're saying Thin Thread was dismissed and replaced by the Trailblazer project, which
boom,
lacked the privacy protections.
boom. And who was that? General Hayden Christensen, I believe was his name. General Hayden. Maybe it wasn't Hayden Christensen. Maybe I'm thinking of Star Wars, that character or the actor. I think his name was Hayden. Just if you want to, Google General Hayden. What was his first name? Shit.
Yeah, here you go. The project was ended by General Michael Hayden after successfully
Exactly.
testing, and while the privacy elements were not retained, Hayden admitted that the analysis technology is the underlying basis of the current NSA analysis techniques, saying in an interview, but we judged fundamentally that as good as Thin Thread was, and believe me, we pulled a whole bunch of elements out of it and we used it for our final solution for these problems. As good as it was, it couldn't scale sufficiently to the volume of modern communications.
Yeah, that would be his explanation of it. But basically, they pulled that
They stripped the
plug.
privacy, is what they did.
Exactly. They stripped the
That's
privacy,
all they did.
and it happened right before 9/11. That's the big the that's the big thing. You know, as far as this information is going,
It's
that's the secret code. That's the cheat code, is that it happened right before 9/11. They put the cheat code in, they pulled Thin Thread. So all of our analysts were blind and couldn't pick up on the chatter that was happening. But William Binney proved with another couple people, one of them called what was his name? I can't remember the NSA agent's name off the top of my head right now, and forgive me, audience, for not remembering. What was his name? Oh, it's on the tip of my tongue. But anyways, they proved through like internet analytics that there was enough information on the regular internet to prove that there was something coming on 9/11. I don't know exactly how, but there's enough. They ran this program on just the regular net, you know, because he made the program, right? So, you know, the government might not be using it, but like he can run the program if he wants again, I guess, you know, whatever. So they ran the program on the regular internet, that information that anybody can access, like me and you, not secret government computers, but there was enough information on the regular internet to for the red flags to go off that, hey, there's going to be a terrorist, some sort of event coming on 9/11.
mm-hmm.
And if you want to go even further, in 1997, CNN somehow found Osama bin Laden and did an
Right.
interview with him. And Osama bin Laden was like talking about what they were gonna do. So it's like,
Yep.
we just went down the fucking rabbit hole there. Shit. My goodness.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's fine.
But yeah, I mean, that we said everything we needed to say as far as that goes. I mean, this is a pure example. This is pure crystalline example of how these technologies can be subverted against the well-meaning people of this country. And
Absolutely.
all me and nobody are trying to do is tell and warn these people that we may not know, but we care an awful lot about, because we're not assholes, we're not dickheads, we're not people that want to live life and have some sort of, we don't want to cuck the rest of the country. We're not into that. Like, we don't sit around thinking of ways that we can cuck everybody. Like, that's shitty, dude. You know what I mean? Like, we want to warn everybody, and it's like, you know, if people want to tip, whatever, but we're not going to like put a paywall up for this. That'd be ridiculous. Like, what'd be the point of that?
Never.
This is life or death shit here. You know what I'm saying? So, where do you want to go from there, bud?
I mean, it's up to you. We kind of hit the squishy robots thing. I didn't know if you wanted to still talk about old Alice here.
Yeah, we got to get into Alice, because the name, I don't think we've touched on this, but the name of tonight's episode, our maiden voyage episode, is called Alice Shrugged. Thought that was interesting, but
Mm-hmm.
So the CEO of Squishy Robots, her name is Alice Agagino, and she has quite an interesting resume. And one of the things that she talks about in her video, and her um, her resume also points out is that she worked at NASA. And as far as I know, like, NASA is funded by taxpayers, right? Maybe you want to look up NASA, but I'm pretty sure, like,
Yeah, it is.
NASA, yeah, it's
It's government funded.
yeah, so like the taxpayers pay for that shit. And a lot of the technology that she built what came from NASA, which she will talk about in this video. So like, she started a company that stole technology from the American people. I don't know, maybe I'm just not thinking about that right, but that's what it seems like to me. What do you think? I mean,
I it sure doesn't smell very good, does it?
here's some of here, just take this for example. Here's some of her research description coming from her University of Berkeley page, and that's where she does her, I guess she teaches or something. Intelligent learning systems, information retrieval and data mining, multi-objective and strategic product design, non-linear optimization, probabilistic modeling, intelligent control and manufacturing, sensor validation, fusion and diagnostics, wireless sensor networks, multimedia and computer-aided design, CAD program, design databases, design theory and methods, MEMS synthesis and CAD, artificial intelligence, decision and expert systems. And the last one I find quite interesting because this bitch is a fucking engineer, right? The last description that she gives for her research is drum. Can you do a drum roll?
I was gonna say it'd probably sound better on yours.
Gender equity. Did it cut out? Gender equity. What the fuck does that have to do with engineering? Gender equity. So a little bit about the gender equity part is like, basically she is trying to make it easier for women and minorities to get into engineering, which, okay, fine, that sounds great, but she left out a lot of people. And I just find that as very odd because she sounds a bit left leaning, and she has access to very powerful technology. So, and I kind of was thinking the other day, a lot of dudes out there.
You gonna tell me that the designer of the technology doesn't hold backdoor keys to the network? Come on now.
And then take this for example. This is
and
a
that
little
she
humor.
couldn't sell that information to certain leftist groups for a nice chunk of money.
I guess they think they're the only party or the only part of the Overton window or something. Like, it just leftist people that vary in their views of what being a leftist is. I mean, this is like, you get into all kinds of philosophical adages if you
Oh, for sure.
wanted to.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt. I'm just throwing
No,
out
you're
a
cool.
out a hypothetical there,
You're not even interrupting anything because this lady's research description is bullshit to begin with.
Do you want me to hit the video?
But you tell me, you're a father, right?
Yes.
You have all
Kids.
boys, right?
I have kids.
How do you feel having boys, that there's people out there that don't want to include, like, males, the white male, into the whole equation of engineering. Like, you would be quite a proud father if your son became an engineer, wouldn't you?
Oh, for sure. I
Why
mean,
does that make you feel that there's people out there that are like, we don't want your kind? We don't want your kind here, man.
obviously
You're not
it's
allowed in our fucking college because you're fucking a specific color and you're a specific gender of the 300 genders now that we have.
yeah. I mean, obviously, that type of discrimination could go both ways. I'm not gonna try to argue that it couldn't, that
You're a fucking white male.
well,
You ever
right.
hear that meme? The leftist screaming, "You're a fucking white male." It's hilarious, dude. The purple
Yeah.
haired lady. It's bullshit.
Yeah, it's frustrating to see that. I don't know. It's like we're going in reverse with segregation nowadays, and I just don't understand it personally.
Yeah. No, I don't either. And it is quite a topic that you almost have to go crazy just to understand. Like seriously, seriously, like normal, logically thinking people don't even. It's hard to wrap your head around it. Like, you feel almost like you're autistic because you can't understand what they're saying, but it's because it doesn't make sense, and it was done by programs from the Stanford Research Institute, which had to do with parapsychology research, which Alice also worked at the SRI, they call it, the Stanford Research Institute. And that's where she created something called the Centibots. I can't remember if she created them or she was part of a team that created them, whatever. But this lady's on the forefront of creating swarm robots. And I take offense to that. I do. So I think this would be, I guess, a good time for me to shut up and you to play some of that video.
All right.
Microphone?
Continue.
Yes, thank you. Can you hear me?
Wonderful. Yes, we can. We're looking forward to it. Thank you.
Hey, well, thank you, LJ, for introducing me. And let me see if my slides show. Do they show?
Yes, they do.
Okay, great. Thank you. As pointed out, my name is Alice Agagino, and I'm CEO of Squishy Robotics. I also have a faculty appointment at the University of California at Berkeley. Squishy Robotics is a
Fucking
company I
hippie.
started as a spinoff from NASA. We provide life-saving, cost-saving information
hear
in
that?
real time through our rapidly deployable mobile sensor
NASA.
robots.
Spin-off
We
from
work on a
NASA,
wide
yeah.
range of customer markets. We started with first responders for disaster response, then military, and we're moving into working with electric utilities, petrochemical plants, and smart cities. Today, I'll present our work on disaster response and early detection of wildfires and methane leaks. All relate to disaster reduction and resiliency that are very much needed to fight
Methane
climate
leaks.
change today.
What do they gotta fucking
Disaster
send these
risk
robots
reduction
out
is
to
an
the cow
integral
fields to make sure the cows don't fart too much? What, like, seriously, what methane leaks are we fucking talking about? Like,
Well,
seriously, do I not know something that
so
like
yeah,
methane?
I think what they're referring to is like if there's seismic activity and some sort of fissure would open up and there would be like
Bro.
there are times when methane will escape from the earth in large quantities, and it could be dangerous because I think it can be potentially combustible, obviously.
Yeah, but bro, when does that happen ever? Has that happened in your life?
I mean, obviously it's not something that I experienced, no, but I think that's probably what they're
The use
referring to.
case,
I mean,
yes,
just because I haven't experienced a wildfire doesn't necessarily mean they don't happen, but I get your
but
point.
think about what the leftists were. Remember when they were going after, they don't want us to eat meat anymore, they want us to eat bugs.
Oh yeah, the mealworms and stuff. Yeah. And what was the other stuff? That pink slime? Was that the fake meat stuff?
Well, the fake meat, yeah.
They were
want to
growing
sell
in
us
the
fake
test tube and shit.
Yeah, and they say because the cows are farting too much, like there's too much
Oh,
methane.
yes, the Green New Deal. We're definitely getting off on a tangent here.
No, yeah, but this isn't even a tangent. It's like exactly it's what she's a leftist.
Yeah, I mean, it's true. If they're talking about climate action and managing,
Yeah,
yeah, that's true. So, yeah,
exactly. All right, continue.
well, yeah, the video.
Yeah.
Part of the social and economic development that is essential to achieving the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. So Squishy Robotics is a spinoff of work that I did with NASA and space exploration in building planetary probes.
Oh,
We
it
were to
sounds so
drop our
sweet.
robot from the
Hmm.
orbit or be shot out of a secondary robot, survive the impact with delicate sensors inside, and then conduct scientific research. On planet Earth, Squishy Robotics has an innovative solution that provides time-critical data when and where it's needed. And I'll give a sample use case that motivated us. This chlorine tanker derailment happened
A sample use case.
Yeah, exactly. Like, oh
the
yeah, there's a good reason.
Like,
Yeah.
we're going to show you the humanitarian ways that our technology can be used so that we don't scare the ever living fuck out of you. Anyway.
Bruh, we're gonna save African kids, bruh. Come on.
dead of night. The first responders didn't know what they were walking into and didn't realize that that tanker was transporting deadly chlorine gas.
There was
As a
no way we
result
could
of
have
this
known.
poor situation awareness, there were 9
Because the ID tags on the backs of those tankers wouldn't have come back to
Dude.
some sort of registration ledger that wouldn't have told you what was in them. Anyway,
Thank you for saying that. Because that's exactly the same fucking thing that I thought of. Every one of those fucking tankers has a unique ID to it, and they have to, by standards, label the shit that they're carrying, and someone's got to sign
Yep.
off on it. In
Absolutely.
Like triplicate.
And I'm pretty sure they have to have.
Continue.
No, I was just gonna say, I'm pretty sure they even have to have like personnel licensed and qualified to deal with leaks and spills and shit of those chemicals on board.
It's like OSHA standards. There's
Yeah.
no way that somebody like who the hell, like random people might not know what's in there or how to read the symbols, but they make symbols and numbers associated with a certain symbol and a color. So there's like symbols, there's a number, there's a color.
Yeah, literally what you would have had to do is call the railroad, get somebody on the phone, tell them the fucking thing derailed, and start reading car numbers, and they would have been like, that's full of chlorine gas.
It's called MSDS. It's what they call it in factories.
Yeah, they have to mark the side of these tankers with that shit.
Exactly.
It's
man.
a code.
Exactly. So yeah, right there, that pissed me off too when I first watched this video, because I'm like, what? They just they did. There was no way of knowing. You know, like what are you talking about?
And that's funny because we did not discuss that beforehand.
No, we didn't. That was all like literally on the spot. Johnny on the spot.
That's funny. Do you want me to keep going here?
Yeah, keep going.
9 fatalities and over 600 injuries. This is how Squishy Robotics comes to the rescue. Our sensor robots can be rapidly deployed by aerial
Oh, there they are, getting dropped by drones. I'm sure that's okay.
vehicles. You see on the left a drone, but we've been dropped by helicopter and fixed-wing aircraft as well. We've tested them at drops of over 300 meters. They can survive the landing and continue to submit critical data to first responders even before they arrive, so that they can know and prepare for what they are walking into. So I'll show a video of Squishy Robotics in action. This is our work on a training exercise with the LA County Fire Department. Our robot is being dropped by a truck on the freeway. And you can see the drone carrying and then dropping Squishy Robotics. Emergency responders are then able to view the chemical sensor data and the video feed from a safe distance.
Now just imagine they dropped it in your backyard. Still there?
Bro, they're gonna drop it in everybody's backyard.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
Like literally, everybody's fucking back. I had to walk out of the room because I'm getting so fucking pissed off. Holy shit, dude! Oh my god, it's like the New World Order is literally telling everybody in these videos that
Yeah.
they're gonna do all this stuff, and just continue. Oh my god, I gotta take another Tums.
What first responders do today. Bulky suits,
Blah,
use
blah, blah, blah.
and huge
And
negative
notice how they're
impact.
wearing
Oh.
bulky suits to keep
Yeah.
from the chemicals, and like, oh, but we have the worst virus in history apparently killing everybody, but a little paper mask is going to stop things. That's weird.
Yeah, so
Weird.
here's the other thing that I don't know that I'm getting. So we're, obviously humanitarian application number 2 here, wildfires, right?
Yeah, bullshit reason number 3.
Isn't the damn thing made out of plastic?
Well, yeah, I mean, apparently though, it's made out of particular plastic, like
Doesn't melt.
it might have Teflon on it or something.
Yeah, that's
I don't
true.
know.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd have to look into the actual chemistry of the materials that they're using, which I'm sure we can get to if people want that information. But yeah, I mean, that could lead us to something else, honestly.
Yeah.
Just the materials themselves, because we know how materials are being created nowadays to do all kinds of things and even bend radio waves.
Oh yeah. Yeah, this is pretty interesting. Fleet deployment, customizable sensor platform.
It's like each one of these robots is a Death Star.
Yeah.
Or like maybe not even the Death Star, but the what were they called? It goes bop 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 bop. It sounded horrible. It wasn't even like the robot, but it was a Star Wars. The little droid that was like chasing after him on the snow planet. Oh man, what was that called? It doesn't matter. Destroy, murder, death, kill droid or whatever. For fuck's sakes, I mean, you can't get away from these things because
Right.
it's like swarm. I mean, these things can be scaled up or scaled down. You can have microscopic these things. I mean, look how easily, like, just the geometrics of the thing. It's
Sure.
simple.
Yep. Absolutely. Yeah, and there's the integration into Blue Force development.
Yep, the software. Yep. Internet of Things. So yeah, Blue Force is like, I guess what IOTA was trying to be.
Okay.
Think about that. You remember IOTA cryptocurrency, right?
Oh yeah.
So yeah, that's pretty much the same thing, I guess. There's just no cryptocurrency associated with Blue Force. They just don't have a token.
Right.
But essentially, I mean, Internet of Things. So your toaster and your coffee maker and your oven and all of the gadgets in your house, from your phone to your car.
Well, that's the thing, how far does
house.
this go? Are they gonna know when you wake up and make your coffee in the morning because somehow the company that partners with, or the company that makes your coffee maker partners with Blue Force development and sells them your data and you don't even know it? You agree to the privacy policy and the terms and conditions that you don't fucking read, you know what I mean? Everyone just clicks sure or agree or whatever, and no one would be the wiser.
It's like you're scuba diving and there's a man of war jellyfish that you don't notice slowly descending and spreading its tentacles all over you, and then you notice it at the last minute and it pulls all those tentacles together and shocks you and kills you and then just slowly digests you. It's like the Matrix will just like it. They're not just going to trick us and then like, hey, lay down in this tubular thing and we'll put this thing down your throat and you're going to go live in metaverse all day. It's going to be a slow, gradual, process where everything will surround you it will get to a point where you don't even know it's going to be able to control your biology, and it'll just fucking clamp down on everything. It's crazy.
Well, yeah, I mean, look at it. They're gonna know what you buy. They're gonna know everything.
Everything. And then who's to say that they're not going to use this technology to control your calorie intake and shit like that?
How do you know that this? I mean, this is how the whole social score thing comes into play. You don't you say something on social media that the powers that be don't like, all of a sudden you're blacklisted. You can't go buy groceries because they canceled all your digital money or whatever.
Yeah, they drop a little squishy robot in your backyard with a fucking Xanax pill and then make you take a fucking, medication that you don't want to take.
Yeah.
It fucking calms your ass down. And they're like, the robot will be like everything. It'll be the doctor. It'll be your best friend.
Oh yeah, that'll be your house arrest ankle bracelet,
Exactly. Exactly right. I couldn't have said it better myself, man. Like, I think this was a great discussion. This is really fun.
Was talking a little bit about the zebra stuff because they're just kind of showing their little thing here about,
Yeah, we didn't even get that far yet, did we?
buying stuff and medical research, and so product tracking, and I mean, basically knowing what you buy. That's what I was saying about them being able to like control whether you could buy or buy groceries and stuff like that, spend your money. And again, that could tie into the whole social score thing. This was something else that you had wanted to touch on.
Yeah. The Blue Force Solutions remote medical monitoring. So basically this shows how Blue Force is working with Zebra Technologies and Zebra devices rather. So Zebra makes the barcode scanners. Zebra makes the little handheld device to scan the barcodes, to scan whatever it needs to scan, to pull up maps, to pull up information that is on the Internet of Things. So, you can look at Zebra as the Motorola of this Internet of Things technology. And basically the reason I picked this was just basically to point out how they would use this for contact tracing in the future. And if there's a, for whatever reason, a, real pandemic or fake pandemic for that matter, what they're going to be using in the future to try to treat us like we are some product in a inventory of a factory. That's basically what we are. We're human resources. We're just inventory to this level. These people think they're so snobby and they're so like leftist and but they're intelligent still, that for whatever reason they're just selling their self out to people that want to control other people. And that's really what the market is. It's just devices to control humans that can be used for good things.
Yeah, well, I mean,
I know technology's double-edged, but
oh, for sure.
this is
something you said about us being resources. It reminded me of another thing that I had seen fairly. Have you heard about these robots that eat organisms for fuel?
oh yeah they could eat. Back in the day there was articles talking
They're
about how these
corpse eating robots.
They would eat corpses on the battlefield, and supposedly that's going to help us win the war. What fucking war? Like, what are they even fucking talking about? Like, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's just wild. Well, yeah, I don't know that I really have much else. I kind of hit all my stuff all at once there when we were going through all the different partnerships and applications. So unless you have anything else, we can probably call this one good and mark some things for follow-up here.
Yeah, all we gotta
as,
do is the outro. Hey man, it was great talking to you. We're definitely gonna keep doing this.
Yeah, I mean, I think this was a good first run, and hopefully people at least acknowledge the concerns, you know.
We'll
we
get to them.
we need to
We'll make a big impact. I know we will.
we need to be asking these questions. How is this going to be used? You need to be calling your representatives and questioning them on the technology being deployed. You know, there needs to be oversight here.
Absolutely. And with that, we're gonna go out with some tunes.
Roll them.
Hey, put that thumbnail up that I made if you can.
Yeah, let me see.
Can you hear the music?
Yep.
Good beat, man. Fuck yeah. So the same chronic back in the back of the band, man. You can't say I'm couldn't have it better than me, man. Yeah, there